Hello, I'm Sydney and I'm baking Eggless Matcha Sugar Cookies. Okay, so the first step was to cream, butter, and sugar, which I'm not really sure what that means, but now you get to watch like 4 minutes of me trying to mix butter and sugar, which is heavily edited by the way, because this was like an hour-long process. Also, like, my dogs were very curious because they didn't know what I was doing. And I put the butter back in the fridge and then had to reread the instructions, so there's like a bunch of gaps and pauses of me just trying to read the instructions again. Sorry if this voiceover is like a little bit weird sounding. I'm getting over a cold. I got that iPad kid cough, or like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, this summer I have decided is now side quest summer because I have too much free time. So eventually I googled what creamed sugar and butter is supposed to look like, and I was like not getting there at all. So naturally I gave up. My arms were hurting and I couldn't do it anymore. And like, click pause, because why does it take so freaking long to cream butter and sugar? Like, what does it do? I've been mixing for like an hour at this point, and like, I was tired and I kind of gave up. Anyways, now we add the wet ingredients. So I splashed myself when mixing the wet ingredients together, and that was sad. I don't know, I think I was just disappointed with myself. Basically, what I've learned from this experience is that I'm a really slow reader, because there are so many chunks where like, I'm not in the camera view, there's nothing happening, I'm not actively baking because I'm reading the instructions again. Now it's time to add the dry ingredients, aka everything else on the counter that's been sitting there while I cream butter and sugar for like an hour. Also, like, I was told baking is an exact science. Like, you're supposed to measure everything very exactly. I'm really bad at that, so like 9 times out of 10 my baking does not go as planned. Okay, so now it's time to add our matcha. Yay! Also, recently I found out matcha oxidizes and turns kind of brown, and mine has done that, and people keep their matcha in the freezer to stop that. But I didn't know that was a thing. So naturally, I have very oxidized matcha, and I don't really care unless someone wants to say like, oh, it's unhealthy, then I'll switch it. And now it's time to mix the wet and dry ingredients, which makes us one step closer to eating cookies, which you can't eat the dough raw unless you heat treat the flour because, I don't know, there's a thing about that. So, yeah. Okay, so now it's the second last step before we throw them in the oven so that we can eat them. We have to scoop and roll. Okay, so now all the pre-cookie balls get rolled in sugar. The recipe said to use a 1/3 cup of sugar for this. This was like way too much sugar. Okay, so this is how the cookies turned out, and they were really yummy. This is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. You can subscribe if you feel inclined to. You can also comment if you feel inclined to. If not, yeah, okay.